Grand Mondays, and it's the Woman B Show, hosted by your one and only Michelle Watson. And with me, as always, I have the beautiful Marina Nani, the creator and founder of this awesome platform. So I don't know where you are in the world right now. Maybe it's morning, evening, or afternoon. We just want to send out a awesome welcome to you all. Marina, do you want to say an awesome welcome to our guest today?
Wow, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Now is the time. Now is the time for you to calm your mind, quiet down, and listen in. Because what you are about to learn is something you never thought about it and is not what you think it might be. Over to you, Michelle.
Yes, Marina. You know what? Today I was pondering and I said, what is it that I would love to share with the listeners today? And I was just reflecting on my life and I was looking back at some of the situations. For some of you that are just joining us for the first time, ever listening out, I am an author of a best-selling book titled Overcome and Rise Above: How to Turn the Downside of Your Challenges into the Upside of Renewing Your Life. And that all came about because I was a victim of domestic abuse and a parent, a son with special needs. Now, a lot of the topics and a lot of things that I speak about tend to revolve around that. So you may find that in most of my talks, I may use examples relating to that. So if you're a new listener, I just wanted to share that with you this today. And what I was looking at is the fact that things delayed and it took so long for me to receive help. And I was just wondering to myself, what was the reason? And there's something that cropped up quite often in my life, and it's the fact that I was not open to receiving. And I've had a difficulty with that. I don't know why. Growing up through the years, I've had a difficulty of opening up myself to receiving from people. I would find it so difficult for somebody to either give me help or money or anything. I found that so difficult, but I found joy in giving to people. And I could realize that I am a terrible receiver and a great giver. And you know what? In life, we often think that we're doing good and we're doing the right thing by doing this. But in all honesty, we really are not. Because I remember speaking to a lady once, Marina, and she said this to me, and it really, really remained with me. What she said was, how do you feel? She asked me a question because we were speaking about it, and she said that's something she picked up on, that I'm happy to give, but I feel uncomfortable to receive. And she said to me, how do you feel? And I'll throw that question out to you listeners. How do you feel when you are giving someone something? How do you feel when you see their face light up and their heart filled with joy about the fact that you have given them something? I'm sure you're going to say to me that you feel absolutely lovely. You feel happy that you were able to put the smile on someone's face. But now the question I will ask is, why are you stopping someone else from experiencing that same loving and happy feeling that you get? Because that's exactly what you're doing. You know what? The lady turned to me, Marina, and she said to me, you are selfish. And I thought, what does she mean? She said, you are selfish. And I said, why would you say that? And she said, yes, because you're depriving someone of feeling what you also feel when you give to someone. So by you not accepting and being open to receiving, you are actually stopping someone from giving to you. And in life, we don't tend to look at those things. So I just wanted to look at a few things that normally prevents people, or things that can help you be a better receiver. And for me, the first one was fear. I had fear of receiving from people. And I think that all stemmed from the fact that I didn't think I was worth it. And you know what? Certain circumstances in life that you go through, certain challenges that you go through in life will make you think that you're not worth it. And I believe we touched base on this few shows ago, Marina, didn't we? We spoke about people not feeling that they're worth certain things. So they play up to something else. They start being someone else. And I think that's what I was being. I always thought I was not worth what anyone is giving to me. And so that fear kept me from being a good receiver. Marina, I don't know if you've ever experienced or had this issue at any point in your life where you've never been open to receiving. Has that ever happened to you, Marina?
Wow, Michelle, happened to me for a few decades. So a few years back when I launched my first book, and then it was another book, and then it was another book, and people were coming, and they were so amazing, and they made me feel so fulfilled inside. It's as if I was winning the lottery each time I was giving away a book. And
Mm,
of course, you know that feeling, because you got your own book launch, and God
yes.
knows how many other books you are going to write from now on. So it's just the beginning. But what somebody noticed, I remember I think in Chicago, when somebody um, paid me a compliment, a huge compliment. And I
Mm,
felt that I don't deserve it, because I always felt like yourself that giving is my birthright, where receiving is not
mm,
something I was comfortable with. I didn't even know how to react. So I
mm,
blushed, and I thought, this is what they really think of me. I mean, it's almost like such a huge, it was like a shock to my system, because I always love to receive my children's love, for example. It was something
mm,
that I was grateful for, but I didn't know there is more to it. I didn't know that total strangers could come to you and say to you, "You just changed my life. You don't
yeah.
understand. You are God for me. You are." And I was thinking, "Oh my God, what do I do next? I mean,
Mhm.
how do you develop that habit of receiving things?" Because
Exactly.
you see, it's almost like an attitude. But
Yes.
like Winston Churchill once said, it's a small thing that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
So everything that happens to you, and you don't expect, especially good things, like compliments, or receiving thanks, or you know, is
Yeah.
so huge. And doesn't it's almost like doesn't match your status quo. It's as if you feel like looking behind, that they're talking to somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
So I learned to, in that moment, it was like awakening moment for me. It was a huge moment, actually.
Oh,
And
yes.
I stood there for a couple of seconds, very long seconds, and everybody went quiet. It's as if, what is she going to say now?
Oh
And
God.
I said, "Thank you. Thank you for making me receive." But I don't know where that came from. And sounded so strange, sounded as if, what's wrong with me? Who is saying this? Is not me talking. So I like yourself, our listeners perhaps experienced the pain. They went victorious out of it. They look behind, and in their life, in our listeners' life, in our own lives, is always something, a wound. Um, it's like a dent.
Yes.
And if you think about, this is what makes you so unique. This is what makes you so gorgeous, so special. It's like it's almost like a antique piece of antique. It's
Yeah.
almost, you are so valuable, because you've been scratched, you've been all these little things that at the time they hurt you. You really have to understand that you wouldn't be the person you are right now if it wasn't for those hurts, or for those people who are like sandpaper. They polish you. You become so much better, simply because knowingly or unknowingly they try to hurt you at the time, and that wound becomes something that is so unique to you.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? The main thing is about recognizing it, because in life we tend to do things and we recognize the needs of people. We always recognize, and that is one of the other things that's normally stop people from being able to receive. because you're so busy focusing on the needs of others, and you never ever focus on the need of yourself. And maybe
Yeah,
possibly,
it's almost like an obsession to give.
yes,
It's as if you are worth nothing unless you give. But then you give, and you feel like it's nothing left of you, and you start hating your life, and you start being bitter, and you know. But when you learn to receive, you
mhm,
become so much better than before, simply because you got this amazing energy now from other people, freely flowing into your own energy, and then
but you
you
know
could
what?
pay forward. It's a
Yeah,
cycle, it's
definitely.
a transfer of energy. That's to me, that's it's so clear. This is all there is, because each one of us is energy, and you choose the energy you want to hold, you choose the energy you transfer, and those different forms you choose to transfer your energy into is what makes or breaks.
That's exactly, Marina. I'm glad you touched on that, because the next thing I was gonna say. I was gonna say, wow, Marina, it's almost as if you knew what I was gonna say, because I was saying to myself, you know what, energy is a constant flow. It's just a constant flow to us and through us. So when it comes, unless you've opened that door to receive it, whether it be in the form of love or happiness, whatever it may be, unless you open that door to receive it, if a delivery man comes to deliver something to you, to your house, unless you open the door to receive it, you can't. It's there. That package is there. It's waiting for you to take ownership. But unless you open the door to receive it, you're not going to get it. But the most surprising thing, Marina, is that a lot of us, we weren't aware of it. We weren't aware of what we're doing. You see, I grew up with my grandmother, and I grew up, and possibly that is what the blueprint that was created in my life via her, by growing up with her, because I grew up seeing her just give. You know, I would go to school, she would cook dinner, I come home, and then a guest will turn up, and if the dinner is not enough, she would give away our dinner to them, and we would have to wait for something to be cooked again, or for us to find something for ourselves. So I'm not surprised that I grew up with that tendency to always be putting others before myself. Is it not good? Yes, at times. But if you're doing it as a constant thing, then you're causing an effect on your own self, because you're not paying any attention to what it is that you need.
But
And you know,
you see, Michelle, I have to. I'm sorry, because I'm so passionate about this. Because for decades I lived on the other side, and
yes,
now I'm an insider into giving and receiving. You know, it's like I feel fulfilled simply because I learned to receive. And perhaps you travel, and you know the number one rule, or the only one thing they expect from you when you travel, when you take a long journey, in the airplane, you are physically there,
yes,
for you to put the oxygen mask first on yourself to be able to help others.
that's it. That is it. But we don't look at it like that, Marina. We never ever do. I never ever do. I've spent so many times of my life going by year after year, being so busy and not seeing what it is that I have done. And the reason is because I've always been so busy helping others to go to the lengths of where they want to reach, helping others to achieve what they want to achieve. And I would just be leaving myself behind. But it's not until someone said to me, "Well, Michelle, how many people can you reach out to if you yourself has not given yourself the chance to go to another level? You're at a limit, and you're at a destination, and that's what happens with many people. And they could help so many more people by doing a lot more for themselves as well. And it's not being about me, myself, and I. No, it's about creating that balance and feeling comfortable in receiving help. Marina, this is you know what, we're talking and laughing about it now, but this thing is just so destroying, and people, we don't realize this. I've looked at, when I look back at my life, so many things that I could have achieved if I just accepted help. But Marina, I would feel literally uncomfortable. If somebody wanted me to feel uncomfortable, what all they needed to do was give me something. And it would feel so weird. And you know what? Starting my business, I found it hard to charge clients. I found it hard, Marina. I remember sitting down with someone even recently, and when they said, this program that you've created, you need to charge this amount. And Marina, I went silent. And I was thinking to myself, no way am I going to charge someone that amount of money. But hold on, you're providing a service. How can that service expand unless you put the value on it that it deserves? And that
But
is what.
I think again, because I'm truly passionate about this topic. You know, people pay for what they value and they value what they pay for. But
Yes.
the point, my point in just to complete what you just said and my own experience is that when people receive something, they don't think they are worth it. And they
Mm,
feel it's an accident or whatever twist of faith that they receive that, but they don't really value that gift. They don't
yeah.
take it, especially when it comes to coaching, which is such a deeply multi-layered spiritual experience. They have to go all in. You could give them anything. You can
Yeah.
take the horse to the water, but you can't force them to drink. So
Drink it.
unless they pay and they feel that they are saying yes to themselves, they are investing in themselves, they are not paying you, they are making an investment in themselves, they are not going to go through. And I can tell you this, I coached and mentored thousands and thousands of people pro bono because I was part of a different brand and I was basically part of their mission and I was helping them because
Mm,
it's so much I believed in their mission. But the truth is that the minute somebody paid me and they gave me a large check for what I did for free for thousands of people around the world, the minute they paid me, I felt that they felt it was worth it
yes.
and they are worth it. So you see, it's like a karmic coin.
Hmm.
I don't go to free events, not because I don't appreciate the gift of life that somebody is offering me. It's simply because I'm not committed enough.
Okay.
And I don't do free events because I know people coming are not my ideal clients. I want to take them on a long journey. I want to partner with them. I want them to feel and understand their true worth. But unless they invest in themselves, they will never reach that point. They will never, reach that moment when they'll say, I'm worth it. I know my worth.
It's true. It's true because and that's what we were saying before, that unless you know your worth, you won't add a value to yourself, and you don't add a value to yourself, you won't be accepting of what is being given in unto you. And I suffered with this for a long time, and that's why, you know what, I was thinking to myself, what is it? What should I speak to about to the listeners today? And I just stopped, and the first thing that came to my head was me saying to myself, Michelle, how long did you experience missing out on so many opportunities because you couldn't allow yourself to receive? And you know what? People out there need help. And this is one of the reasons why I believe I didn't cry
No,
out for help. I was
actually,
going.
they need your help.
Yeah, they
That's
need
my
our help.
point. You see,
And you
that
know what, Marina? I myself as well, I suffered for that because when I was going through my abuse and everything, it wasn't that people weren't around that could help me. I just didn't believe I deserved the help. And so I refused to ask for it. And it displayed itself in many other areas in my life. If I'm going through a financial difficulty, didn't I have some people that I could turn to? Yes, I did. But I didn't because I just didn't think I deserve. And so in some ways, I do think that pride has a lot to do with it as well, even though we don't accept that it does. But in some ways, it does. Um,
so
but as we,
I mean, what you are saying is so important, and I want our listeners to pay attention to every single word you are saying, because you are saying that in fact, unless you understand your true worth, you can't make progress. You can't
yeah,
deliver yourself. You can't grow into the person you are designed to be, to deliver your own life mission. And
definitely.
yes, I believe in giving, and I'm still giving, and the proof is still yet to come. I'm such a, you know, perhaps I'm naive, but I so believe in giving, and I'm thinking it's not about the money. If I make them understand their true worth, it's nothing to do with money actually. But I have to find a way to understand their true worth, to understand that they're worth investing in. That
Yeah.
the best investment ever anyone can do is to invest in themselves. It's
Yes.
not bricks and mortar. For a long time, for decades in my life, I thought it's bricks and mortar. And guess what? It's not. I
Yes.
felt when I retired, I had everything I dreamt of. I had a beautiful place. And I had more than I expected. I had more than I bargained for. I had more than I ever wanted. And yet I felt that I'm alone. I have no one to speak to. I have no one to, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know myself. So then I went through that process when I felt like I'm this. You are too young to remember, but the pictures before the digital era, they were like, you take a camera, a picture with a camera, you take it to a laboratory, is a dark room, and there they put in water and they develop the colors. So that picture you took needs to stay in a dark place, in a dark room, and develop the colors.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was the process, and this is what happened to me. So when I realized that I had everything but nothing, I had everything I ever dreamed of, and nothing to hold, nothing to put my name on it, as in a spiritual way, because there is more to life, and best things in life are not things, are people.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Exactly.
realized that despite all the givings I ever did, and I did a lot, tons of it, I
Yes.
could not feel that I have a meaning. I have a meaningful life. I did not feel that I'm complete. I felt that now I can die. There's nothing left. I raise my children. I build a business. I done everything in record time and better than I planned. And yet I felt that I have nothing to live for.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing, Marina. Very amazing. And it's another angle as well that people can look at and realize that, hold on, not having value, it takes away so much from you because you can't see ahead, you can't see, and I mentioned this in a show previously, you can't see beyond certain barriers. It's like there's a limit there and you can't go beyond that limit, and that's one of the things that set me back. I wasn't opening myself to receiving. I was just giving. I love giving. I have a joy in giving, and that's all I've just been doing. And I've found myself always hitting a brick wall or remaining only up to a certain point in my life because I found it difficult to push beyond that to ask for help. I just felt like, oh my God, I'm bothering someone, or I don't want them to be tired of me, or I don't want them to think any less of me because I'm asking for help. And that is just so wrong because you don't know what you're missing out on. So until you really feel happy about receiving, I wake up every day now going around and telling myself, you know what, I'm open to receiving. I'm ready to receive. I'm a great giver. I'm a great receiver. And I remember seeing this quote, and it was saying that giving is the highest pleasure, but receiving is the greatest treasure. And I thought, wow, why didn't I think about this years ago? But you know what? Everything is for its own time. But I would just like to encourage the listeners, if you're out there, and you recognize this trait in yourself, you recognize this blueprint in your life where you don't feel comfortable about receiving, why? You need to ask yourself, why is it? Because I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, the answer will come back to be really because you do not think you deserve it. Because think about it. What is it about you why you would believe that you don't deserve to receive what somebody's giving to you?
But you know what it is, Michelle. It is the social conditioning. I don't know
Yes.
if perhaps you heard this before, and our listeners, I'm sure they did. But there is one quote by Zig Ziglar that I don't agree with, and
Mm,
I know some people get upset with me, but this is me, I'm like Marmite, you love me or hate me. So he said that you can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. And it's not true, it's a big lie. It's not true, because the truth is that everybody is a giver. And the truth is that if you understand what you want and ignore everything else, others will help you to get what you want. They will give you that chance for you to achieve your dream, for you to get everything you want. So then we can help others, not before. Unless you understand this twisted message, which is based on crafting your message, is based on how you express yourself, is based on saying, yes, I want to make the difference, but it's not full stop after the difference, or it's not an exclamation mark. It's I want to make the difference and the fortune, so I can
Yeah,
back up the difference I want to make, so I have the means to deliver the difference, the significant difference I want to make. And this is
yeah,
where everything gets confused. Is a lot of confusion about, and it's very cloudy and froggy, and like it's almost like people denying clarity. So wait
yeah.
a minute, I want to make the difference and I don't want to make the fortune. How am I going to make the difference?
It's true.
So it's all about being real, being accurate with what you want, and being accurate with what is that you really want from life.
Exactly.
It is and this is again a famous video done by somebody nobody knows by whom, but it's a video with a blind man who is sitting on the bottom of the stairs, and people are throwing money at him, but not that much. And a lady comes along and she writes the message. He's saying, help me or something, right? And then she comes and changes the message. It's a beautiful day outside and I can't see it, or something. So is the way you craft your message, is the way you express yourself, is the way you make that clear to yourself. What is that you want? Don't tell me nothing, because it's nothing. I don't want to go back to nothingness. I want to make progress. I want to make something out of my life. I want to leave a legacy. I want to live a meaningful life.
I do think maybe he was speaking more in the terms of, in life, like for instance, it's and I have to look at it as in the before and not now, because now there's so many people that are just so selfish. Because if I should look in my life about the amount of people that I have helped, one would think that I should be further than where I am. But I just tend to believe that nothing really does happen before it's time, and that I just keep encouraging myself with that. And I think maybe the way that when he said that message across, is a case of service. Because a lot of people, the main thing that they always say, in order to get yourself into the area of leadership, you need to first serve. You need to have that heart of service, and that will develop you into being the great leader. So possibly is in that aspect that he's looking at it to say, you know what, in order for you to really achieve, you need to give. Because if we look at any products or any service that we're offering, or especially someone as a coach, you are helping. Even though you're offering.
Okay. Let's clarify this, because again, you touch a nerve, and I'm very sensitive about this, because there's a lot of confusion going on, and we need to clarify this. So, Michelle, you are not a product. When I'm talking to you, when I'm listening to your story, when I love you, when I admire you, when I'm giving you thanks for being in my life, it's not about your product. You don't even know who you are going to become. You are like a seed of greatness. You are growing to something, and surely it's going to be a bearing fruit tree, and is going to feed the world. But we don't know yet. You don't know yet. You yourself, you don't know yet who you are going to become. So when we are talking about selling a program, a coaching program, it's not about selling. It's not about closing the sale closing down. It's about opening the gates into what is available, because you created something and now it's your moral duty to deliver.
Yes,
People
that's
create.
what I'm saying. It's a help. You're
A
gonna
lot
look
of
at it
people are
more.
creating. They can't stop creating because they don't know how to deliver.
Yeah, but that's the thing,
Delivering,
Marina. That's why I'm
delivering.
putting back to what you
Okay,
said.
so just to end up here, so the delivering is not about delivering your product. It's delivering your divine essence. It's delivering yourself. This is what your clients want.
Yes, that's definitely it. Because what clients buy, they don't buy whatever you put on paper. What they buy first is you. What they look at first is you, and that's why I'm commenting back on the Zig Ziglar thing. Because in that sense, you can look at it as if you are helping. You are helping. Even if somebody's going to pay you for it, you are helping. And maybe in that area is what he's looking at to say, in order to achieve what you want, you first have to help. As just as many people say, in order to become a leader, you first have to serve. So it's always about you putting yourself out there first in order for somebody to be attracted to you. I could never be attracted to you until you put yourself out there. Because I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know who you are. I wouldn't know what you have to offer. I wouldn't know the type of person you are until you put yourself out there and you've helped. And that's the truth of it. A lot of people that I have now that are whether clients or followers, they've drawn to me because I've put something out there or I've helped in one way or the other. Even if it's just from my Women Be event, that yes, they've paid to enter with a ticket, but at the same time, I've helped. So I believe it's in that essence that he's put that across when he says that in order for you to be who you are or achieve what you want to achieve, you first have to help others. Because I don't think that I would have reached where I am today unless I did help anyone. So maybe that's why I'm saying, maybe in that light, if you look at it in that sense, you may not disagree with it that much.
But you see, we have great conversations simply because we agree to disagree. And each one of our listeners got a different experience, but each one of us know deep inside that we all have the same divine essence. There is not even one single person who doesn't. And yet the only difference is that makes or breaks is when you decide to master that essence, when you decide to be out there against all odds. Forget what other people think of you, is none of your business. Just put yourself out there. Serve the world. Is making yourself available to greatness.
Wow, that's it. That says it all, Marina. Making yourself a value of greatness. And you know what? I think once you do that, you will be open to receiving. You will be open because you will feel that you deserve it. You will believe in yourself that I have this great value. And because I have this great value, I am open to receiving more love, more happiness, more joy, more of everything, to be honest, and
But Michelle, I mean, in all fairness, you could not teach somebody, any of your students, you can't teach them their true worth.
no,
You
no
can't
one
teach
can
them
teach
unless
you.
you know your own, unless you
Yes,
experience that yourself, and unless you know what
no
difference
one,
it's going to
no
make
one can
for
teach them
them.
at
So
all. No one can
so
teach them. The only thing you can
you have
do,
to leave your legacy. You have to be.
yeah, the only thing you can do is maybe create an awareness. That's all you can do. But it's gonna be down to the person to be open. I can't physically come to you and open you up and saying, Marina, yes, you need to be open. That will only be a temporary
Fix,
fix.
yes.
But the main thing is creating that awareness. Because you know what, Marina, I did not recognize this on. You know what? When this lady said this question to me, it stayed with me for more than a week. When she said to me, how do you feel when you give something to someone? And I said, I was telling her I was feeling happy about telling her. Can you imagine somebody asks you and say, Marina, how do you feel when you give something to someone? And you saying to her, I feel happy, I feel excited. And then she turns and she say to you, you're selfish. What a
And you
knock.
are. But she was absolutely spot on, because you stop the flow of energy. You don't allow, everything stops at you. So you are blocking, you are creating an unnecessary blockage, when actually you should pass it on, pay forward. And energy
Exactly.
is everything we are made of. And what you are made of is energy. And it's like everything in life. If you want love, you have to be love. Not falling in love, be love. Because
Yeah,
unless you are who you think you are, and who you want to be, and who you want other people to be for you, you can't be. And you are just doing. Is almost like a like in, before going to school, to become a real student, you go to preschool, where you are not quite sure, am I a student or not, why I'm here. So it's that
exactly.
growing process. And for some people it takes a week, like you said, to have an eureka moment and come to a realization that is going to change absolutely everything. Everything they believed in before is not valid anymore. Because you know why? Because they realize they don't need, the wait is over. They don't need to wait for anyone to come knock on their door and say, oh, you are great, you are somebody. You have to endorse your own vision.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
a big responsibility, and it's not for everyone. But you know what? For our listeners, you done it. You know that growing is growing from a seed, and growing from a seed into a tree, into a fruit bearing tree, is about nurturing, is about getting your hands dirty. Go inside and look at what you are made of. You got everything already. Everything is there. There is not one thing, not one ingredient, not one element that you are missing. So
Exactly.
when I hear people telling that, I don't know, I'm not ready, this is not me, I can't charge for my program, I can't do this. Well, you are not. If you think you are not, you are not. But if you think you do, you are.
It's true, and I'm just so glad that we spoke about this topic today. I'm just so enjoying it. I'm so glad we did, because I do hope that it creates an awareness for somebody that is listening out there. If you are not feeling happy about receiving, if you're feeling uncomfortable about receiving, you really need to stop and check and figure out where this feeling is coming from, and create an awareness around it. Because you need to know, is it a case of you not having that self-worth or not valuing yourself? You need to know, and no one else can correct this for you. You have to, as Marina rightly said, you have to correct this yourself. All someone can do is create an awareness, which is what happened for me. Somebody opened my eyes to this, to realize that, hold on, Michelle, you're always so happy to give, but what about receiving? And this great quote says, always give without remembering, and always receive without forgetting. So the fact that you're receiving, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It's because you deserve it.
Is the opposite, actually. I think you are a great person, and you are here on Grand Monday with our amazing Michelle Watson, simply because failure doesn't really exist. Imagine if the seeds will be afraid to grow into trees. Imagine
Mm.
if the flowers will be afraid to share their pollen. Imagine if the sun will be afraid to rise and shine.
Oh,
What
God.
would you be? Failure doesn't exist. It is just something so artificial and superficial. It's like a artificial border that was created by certain people who made it, and they're afraid of their competition. But then again, what competition? Who is competing against others? You
Exactly.
are only competing against your own limitation.
Yourself,
And aren't you
exactly.
having your hands full, competing against who you were just yesterday?
Mhm.
Plant the seeds of greatness today, nurture them to grow into this bearing fruit trees, which they will let everything happen once again. And it's transferring that energy. Share that pollen of your divine essence. You are the sun on somebody else's sky, and they have a very dark sky above them. Don't keep
Yeah.
them in the dark. Grand Monday is here, Michelle Watson is here, and I'm so grateful on our listeners' behalf for you touching the nerve and sharing your story. Remember, be seen, be heard, be present.
Yes, listeners, it was great to be in your company again once more with the beautiful Marina and Nani here on Radio Works, and it's an amazing, grand Mondays. It's a lovely day, and guess what? I just want you to remember the power of receiving. It is enormous. So open yourself and receive. We look forward to you being with us again on the next Grand Mondays. You do take care and have a lovely week ahead. Thank you. And once again, thank you for listening to Women Be.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.